You're listening to Josh on Classic Hits 92.5 KVPI, and this morning I'm being joined by ABC News entertainment contributor Andrea Dresdale. Andrea, thanks for coming on this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Last night was the 2018 Billboard Music Awards on NBC. How was it being at the show?
Well, it was, as usual, incredibly star-studded. You know, almost everybody you could think of was walking the red carpet. People were wearing some crazy outfits. Everybody seemed really happy to be there, but everybody was really hot, and it was incredibly hot, let me tell you. The red carpet was pretty hot, though. Everybody was complaining about it.
Wow, I'm sure. It's been hot around here, too, for 90s. This year, the host was Clarkson. I'm a big fan of hers. How did you feel she did as the host?
I think she did a really good job because she was just herself. You know, if you know Kelly, you know she has no filter. She's just an open, self-deprecating, funny person, and she said right off the bat that she wasn't going to try to be a comedian and try to take shots at people. She opened the show by doing, first of all, she opened the show with a very serious message because of the shooting in Santa Fe, Texas, because she is from Texas herself, and she said that the producers wanted her to have a moment of silence, and she said, no, let's have a moment of action, and she was literally crying because she said she couldn't, as a mother of four, she couldn't imagine any parent getting that call. But then when the show started, she promised she wouldn't cry anymore, and she didn't, and she did a great opening where she sang a medley of all the past hits, from Taylor Swift to Sam Smith to Kendrick Lamar, Ed Sheeran. She just did a whole medley, and it was tons of fun. And she just seemed to be having a great time.
Yeah, that opening was great. You could really feel it was her real emotions, and as host throughout the night, I felt that she was really just a big fan, enjoying the show. And I loved her opening bit where, you know, she says, it's not going to be about me tonight, and then she has this big old production. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was funny. Like I said, she's very self-deprecating. She's not afraid to look funny. She's not afraid to look weird. And as you said, yeah, she is a huge fan. And at the end of the show, she joined Salt and Pepper and Vogue on stage, and she just seemed to be completely over the moon.
Yes, she did. Janet Jackson was honored last night with the Billboard Icon Award. It was her first performance on TV in 9 years. What were your thoughts? I thought she looked great, and she delivered a beautiful message, I think, in her acceptance speech. She
really did, because other than, violence, stopping violence, another theme of the whole show was female empowerment, and she really hit the nail on the head with her acceptance speech, talking about how finally women are taking back their power. And, I talked to everybody on the red carpet. Everybody could not wait to see Janet. They were gushing about what an icon she is because of her music, but also because of her performance style. She was an innovator in dance. She paved the way for young artists of color. She influenced everybody. Everybody was just raving about Janet. Even Jennifer Lopez, when I talked to her, she said, I got my start early in my career, working in a Janet video. She said she started dancing because of a Janet video. And, it's incredible what her impact has been. And I think, she really showed that. And everybody in the audience seemed to be losing their mind.
Absolutely. That video package they put together was really nice. It was great to see some of her family, too, in the front during her performance. It was a star-studded extravaganza, as you mentioned. There were some really good performances throughout the evening. What were the ones that stood out the most to you?
Well, I really liked watching Christina Aguilera and Demi Lovato premiere their new single, Fall in Line, because, again, that's a very strong message of female empowerment. And it was great to see these two divas just sort of just raise the roof, with their vocal acrobatics. That was very cool, because a lot of fans have been wanting to see these two sing together for a really long time, and they got that. And then another a touching moment was when Shawn Mendes and Khalid sang the song Youth, and they were joined by the show choir of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, because the song is about not letting bad news and tragedy rob youth of their innocence. So it was kind of a perfect moment. And Ariana Grande opened the show. She was terrific. The Kelly Clarkson number, and then Kelly Clarkson came back sang Whole Lotta Woman, which was great. And then Salt and Pepper and Vogue, seeing them sing together, that was terrific. And that was a great way to close the show. There was confetti everywhere. It was great.
Absolutely. That was a special moment with Shawn Mendes. He was actually quoted as saying he had never experienced goosebumps like that on stage before. And the awards did pay tribute a few times to students and teachers of recent mass shootings, and unfortunately it seems like right before every big award show our country experiences a tragedy like that.
Right, and that's why Khalid told me on the red carpet that he had, just the day of the shooting, performed 30 miles away in Houston. And, he said that he really feels like young people can change the world, and this has to stop happening, and he is just glad that he could be a part of that performance and maybe just bring some positivity and light into people's lives.
A lot of awards were handed out last night as well. Who were the big winners?
The big winners were Kendrick Lamar and Ed Sheeran. They tied for the most awards, and I didn't really think there were any big surprises. It seemed like pretty much everybody who was there won an award. It was surprising, actually, to see Taylor Swift there, because she's, as you probably know, kept kind of a low profile over the last couple of years, and she was right there in the front row with her friends Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello, and she won 2 awards, and it was a surprise for me to see her there. Also a surprise to see Bruno Mars there. He was another winner. I believe he won 5 awards, but he made a surprise appearance to introduce Janet Jackson, and his appearance was not pre-announced, so that was surprising. But just in terms of the people who won, no, it wasn't really surprising, because the Billboard Awards are based on how you did on the charts. And we all know what the biggest albums and the biggest singles were of the past year, so you could kind of guess,
Right. So any final thoughts on the awards last night from Las Vegas? You were on the red carpet. Overall final thoughts?
I think it was a really good award show, because sometimes the Billboard Awards are just really about kind of pure spectacle, and again, like I said, the awards themselves aren't always that big a surprise, but I thought this one did a very good job of incorporating important messages of, like we said, anti-gun violence, female empowerment. Also, several people spoke about Avicii, the EDM artist who died a month ago, and they dedicated their awards to him. They spoke about how important it is to give people support and make sure that they're doing okay, because reportedly he took his own life. And so they really were able to kind of make those important messages part of a fun award show, which is a hard line to walk, and I think they did a good job.
Absolutely. We've been talking with ABC News entertainment contributor Andrea Dresdale, who has been giving us the lowdown on the highlights from last night's Billboard Music Awards on NBC. You can follow her work and get the latest entertainment news at abcnewsradioonline.com. Andrea, thanks so much for taking the time to join us this morning.
Thank you very much.